Well, happening now, tanker trucks are lining up at the Kinder Morgan fueling station to restock gas stations in East Texas. Now, Hurricane Harvey has caused shortages at hundreds of stations as a result of refinery operations being shut down near Houston.
But make no mistake, what's happening in Texas is likely to have an impact all the way to Savannah. Our Elizabeth Rollins joining us with more on the supply and demand crisis. Elizabeth.
Well, so far that crisis is only producing shortages in the areas that were hit by Harvey. Suppliers across the southeast were able to plan ahead of the storm and stock up on that supply ahead of time. The problem is we don't know how long we'll have to rely on that extra supply before there's a shortage for us.
It went from being okay to way too much.
Drivers in Chatham County are already feeling the impact of the Colonial Pipeline shutdown just one day after the company announced that they were shutting down the Texas portion of the pipeline, which is underwater following the devastating flooding from Hurricane Harvey.
Basically overnight, really. It wasn't even this high yesterday.
Officials say about this time last week, drivers were paying about $2.06 at the pump. Today, you'll pay almost 50 cents more. It's $2.55 for regular. The pipeline stretches 5,500 miles, shuttling fuel from Houston to the East Coast. And the Southeast is dependent on this line to fuel about 40% of its supply, forcing retailers like Parker's to look for other suppliers.
We're actually having to pull it from different areas, so we can't rely solely on the pipeline anymore. So we're pulling from different areas and making sure we have product here in the ground.
An unexpected shutdown last year from an explosion in Alabama almost immediately created a gas shortage across the southeast. But this time, suppliers were able to prepare ahead of the storm.
We had no idea the pipeline, there was going to be any issues, but now with Harvey, we saw it coming.
But what they don't know is how long they'll have to rely on that stock supply. It could eventually lead to a shortage, depending on how long the pipeline is shut down.
And there's definitely going to be that element that we need to be worried about, and we're paying attention to it.
One of those things you just got to wait and see how it plays out.
In the meantime, drivers are trying to be optimistic, some even opting out of gas for as long as possible.
Gonna wait until it gets on E. Maybe it'll come down.
Colonial Pipeline says that they could reopen that line as early as Sunday. Of course, that's the best case scenario. If so, there should be no threat of shortage for our area. Fingers crossed, David.